This video is an investigative documentary. It does not intend to mock, shame, or humiliate any individuals or groups involved. No unverified claims or allegations are presented as fact. All information included has been publicly shared by third parties, media sources, or the individuals themselves. I'm not responsible for the accuracy or opinions expressed in third-party content. This video is created under fair use for commentary, analysis, and reporting, and complies with YouTube's community guidelines. This video does not seek to glorify or glamorize negative behavior, but aims to provide an educational insight into realities often overlooked or unseen by the wider public. As I always say, there's one simple rule: if you don't speak on it, I can't report on it. I hope you enjoy the video. Some things are better left unsaid. The streets have spoken. Have you ever wondered why Spray hates the CEO of GRM Daily so much? Have you ever watched the RTM podcast and thought to yourself, why is Spray getting at Posty so deeply? Why for dat? Well, in this documentary you're about to find out what all that tension is really about. It's the 29th of March, 2012. Posty, the face of GRM Daily, suddenly sends out a tweet. "Spray DM bro," tagging Spray directly. Moments later, Spray replies in his usual no-nonsense style. "I got you, Posty. Gonna phone you tomorrow, fam." You see, at one point in time, these two pioneers of the UK urban scene weren't enemies. Far from it. They were actually close. Brethrens, even. But as the game grew and egos collided, things started to shift. What once was brotherhood slowly turned to betrayal. Now, before I go deeper into what really tore them apart, let me introduce the main players in this story. First, we have RTM's Spray. I've done a number of videos on him before, but for anyone new to the channel or totally new to the scene, let me break it down. Young Spray, aka RTM Spray, is a raw, unfiltered voice, straight from the concrete heart of East London. He turned rap into a weapon and the mic into a movement. Coming up with the legendary group North Star, Spray helped shape UK street rap in its early days. Back when there was no clout, no cosigns, and no charts. Just bars, beef, and grit. He's the mind behind RTM, Realer Than Most. A brand that started off as a mixtape series and evolved into a street-certified media empire. From raw music to bold merch and his now infamous RTM podcast, Spray created a platform where no guest is safe and no topic is off limits. His style? Unpredictable. Relentless. From the gut. Whether he's laying down bars or checking guests live on mic, Spray's never played it safe there, and that's exactly why the streets rate him. Then we've got Posty, the other half of this heavyweight clash. Posty, real name Kobe Hagen, is the architect behind GRM Daily, the most powerful media machine in UK rap. From recording grime freestyles on council estates to creating a billion-view empire, Posty turned a grime blog into a global institution. Raised between North London and Ghana, he saw the gap in the scene and filled it with vision, hustle, and calculated power moves. What began as Grime Daily in 2009 became the go-to platform for names like Stormzy, Dave, Skepta, Central C, and more. Now, Posty's a multi-millionaire mogul. GRM Daily isn't just a platform anymore, it's a full-blown brand. From Daily Duppy to the Rated Awards to the GRM Gala, he's more than the man behind the camera, he's shaping the scene. And if you're wondering what GRM Daily really is, it's the platform that helped launch UK rap to mainstream levels. Back in the day, if you were a UK artist trying to drop visuals, your options were simple. Link Up TV, SBTV, or GRM Daily. Spray, being one of the top rappers at the time, naturally ended up working with Posty. It benefited both sides. It made sense. Posty was like the UK's version of Def Jam during the early US hip-hop boom. He had the streets, the artists, the momentum. He had to keep things smooth with everyone, remember that, because it becomes very important later in this documentary. Spray's visuals appeared all over GRM, from his infamous Daily Duppy to tracks like Legion of Doom. Posty gave Spray that platform. They even shared public love. Posty once tweeted "Spray happy birthday" under a Joe Grime post. If you know, you know. Everything looked blessed. On the surface, it all looked good. But was it really? Now, here's where things start getting murky. Drake, yes, that Drake, flew into London for a show, and afterwards there was an elite after-party. A who's who event filled with models, industry legends, ballers and rappers. Drake, being tight with Giggs, naturally had Giggs in the building. Somehow, Giggs or someone from his team invited Spray and his crew to the after-party, so Spray rolls up, entourage and all. At this point, Spray wasn't just a rapper, he was a certified street figure, with a rep that stretched from Bow to Brixton. The police knew who he was, the streets knew who he was. Spray pulled up to the event heavy. The party was live, the vibes were high, but then allegedly something goes left. A few people reportedly approach one of Drake's OVO crew members, and a watch goes missing. I'll let you do the maths on what that implies. On top of that, there are whispers of a run-in between Spray and a top OVO member. Again, I can't confirm much, but where there's smoke, well, you know how that saying goes. So now you've got a missing watch, an alleged confrontation, and Spray reportedly putting pressure on one of Drake's guys. Needless to say, it rubbed some people the wrong way. Soon after, it said that OVO started making calls, trying to find out who's Spray. Now this brings us to the GRM Daily Awards. Posty is running the show. Like I said earlier, he keeps good ties with everyone. That's his whole ethos. So he invites Spray plus one to the awards show. Spray pulls up and ends up bumping into Buck, who's not just Giggs' close friend, but also his business partner. The two allegedly talk about what went down at the Drake party. Spray says the convo was calm. Others say it was tense. My take: Spray might have tried to downplay the whole thing and say the watch situation had nothing to do with him. Buck, staying mature and composed, might have responded with something like, "Look, we invited you. What your people did weren't cool." Or maybe they were just talking about football. Who knows? Anyway, Spray keeps it moving. He ends up backstage, chopping it up with celebs, and eventually chilling in Skepta's dressing room. Then, boom. The door flies open. A group of people barge in. A confrontation breaks out. It turns physical, and Spray ends up badly injured. The incident hits headlines across the UK. Police get involved, but with no witnesses and no one talking, the investigation goes nowhere. And this is the moment Spray and Posty's relationship completely collapsed. If you're plugged into the UK scene, you already know, this was the beginning of Spray and Giggs' fallout too. There's a whole documentary on that on my channel. But today's story is about Spray versus Posty. After the incident, Spray ends up in critical condition, but the moment he has enough energy to type, he's straight on Twitter, unloading his thoughts, calling out everyone. Especially Posty. Spray went on an all-out crusade. Day after day, he was unloading diss tracks aimed directly at Giggs, while simultaneously firing off heated tweets at Posty. It wasn't just lyrical warfare. Spray had taken the gloves off, and his online posts were just as aggressive and unapologetic as his bars. One of the tweets that caught the most attention reads, "All now I still ain't got a message from Posty, so he's gonna get his kicked out. Redacted rapper name. I don't know why you still ain't messaged, but it's on for you as well, are you? Anyone that drew from me must as well. #RTM. Another post, aimed at the wider scene but clearly still directed at Posty and his platform, reads, "For 2019, I want all you artists to focus on your own YouTube channels and build them up. Don't rely on, like Posty, to make or break you and keep all your money for your views just to try give you some idiot ting if you get 1 million views. Thank me later." Spray was relentless. The way he saw it, Posty had crossed a line, either by actions or silence. To Spray, it wasn't just business, it was betrayal. And he made it clear the war was both online and in the streets. Here's the thing, I kind of see both angles. Posty has an empire to run, GRM is worth millions. He's got investors, sponsors and reputations to protect. Publicly acknowledging a violent altercation at his event wouldn't have been a smart move. He probably just wanted to keep things professional and move on. From his perspective, it didn't involve him, as he is cool with everyone. Now let me give you an analogy. You ever watched that series Mobland? There's a scene where Tom Hardy and his rival link up at a gym called Moody's. To even step foot inside, they've got to pay £50,000 each. Why? Because no violence is allowed in Moody's. Moody is cool with everyone. He's neutral ground. No drama can be caused, nor can any beef be had within his grounds. Posty is Moody. GRM Daily is the gym. That situation wasn't supposed to happen, and I don't think Posty was ready for it. But from Spray's side, I get it too. He was ambushed, he got hurt, and no one said anything. He might have felt like Posty could have patterned the venue better, or at least put out a statement or something. But the truth is, this situation is technical, and no one really knows what the right way to handle it was. From that day forward, Spray and Posty's relationship was shattered beyond repair. And Spray, he's been calling him out ever since.